I remember going to a party hosted by a Taiwanese street gang.
You have to RSVP.
I had a cute little Evite and shit, and it said Taiwanese gang. You know, you're invited, and then confetti comes out.
Welcome to another episode of Careful Boys. Today we have Nick the Ear with us.
Woo!
Nick, please state your ethnicity.
I am 100% Chinese.
Chinese. Why don't you just call yourself a Singaporean?
Because, I don't know, I feel like I can't take that title, brother. I'm not from Singapore, unfortunately. My mom is.
Are you able to do Singaporean accent?
Not really.
Something like
Even if they're Singaporean, they just say they're Chinese, right?
Yeah.
Like if you go to Singapore and go, oh, like what's your ethnicity? I think they'll go, oh, Chinese.
Well, that is that because Singapore is like made of like different, like you have Chinese, Malay, Indian.
It's like a melting pot. But ethnically, my mom is Chinese, right? So
Do you get offended would she get offended if someone thinks she's Malaysian?
no.
Then she's not really Singaporean. I'm just kidding. Well, we got Bart Kwan with us too.
Bart,
Bart, please state your ethnicity.
I'm Singaporean.
No, you're not.
I
Take
am,
that
dude.
back, dude.
I am Singaporean. Dude.
he's Taiwanese.
Took Singapore Airlines like 4 or 5 times.
Cool. Do you stay at Marina Bay Sands?
I've never been there.
All right. We also got Mr. Joseph Jitsukawa with us.
Woohoo! I'm Mexican.
You wish.
State your sexual preferences.
Japanese.
Cream pass.
Nice. Cool. And we have Jason Cheny.
Jason Cheny.
What is your ethnicity, sir?
Thailand.
I'm from Bangalore, India.
Pretty cool, man. Engagement farming from the bots. All right, today we're going to talk about, so growing up, I was always told like, because I went to high school in San Gabriel, and there were a lot of Taiwanese students there. And it was one of those things I'd run into a lot of time where they didn't love to be called Chinese. And there was a distinction, like an hierarchy where like Taiwanese is always better than Chinese, you know?
Yeah,
I wanted to really...
I remember that too.
But I think I just kind of accepted it without asking enough questions. I didn't really understand. I just went, cool.
Up until a certain point.
Yeah. I think today I wanted to find out from you guys, why is Taiwanese better than mainland Chinese?
We're better. Okay,
Talk about it.
let's be honest, okay? Let's just be honest. Chinese people are more powerful because they have a lot of money, the top 1 to 5%, but most of the country is working 5 to 6 days, 12, 13-hour days. They're not, they're doing very well in the financially. That sounds weird, but nobody's ever, so the world respects them because of military and also their power through the whole world. So we respect that, but nobody's ever like, man, those Chinese people are so cool. Nobody's ever saying that though. Who said those Chinese people are so cool ever?
The Japanese when they were under...
I know, that's what I'm saying. But those are the only times where you're getting bent over. You're like, wow, your penis is so smooth.
When I went to Taiwan, it reminded me if China and Japan had a baby.
Yeah, but Korean too. And also,
There's parts, but it was because they're the way that they build their city, it looks like Japan.
well, we were occupied.
But who's saying Taiwanese people are cool?
Okay, we're less not cool.
Taiwanese people. Mostly people from Taiwan.
But do you think most people know what Taiwan is? Like, they just think they're all Chinese.
Yes.
Like, generally, yeah.
Growing up, I thought Taiwan was just like an area of China.
It was like saying Alabama, like it's still America.
I thought it was the same as when someone was like, "Oh, I'm not. I'm Shanghainese." I was like, "Oh, okay, so that's just a part of it."
That's honestly technically what it is.
Yeah.
Can I tell you something from a Caucasian perspective? So, from a Caucasian, non-biased, non-invested perspective, and going through the timeline, because I think the timeline has a lot to do with how you perceive things. In, I would say, 80s, 90s, maybe even early 2000s, Taiwanese had this elitism because in China, they probably thought they're a bunch of like villagers and farmers and shit, right? So when those guys come here and they're trying to impress the white man, they're like, we're sophisticated. We make all your computer chips, all your plasma TVs. Taiwanese is very, very cool. We should be your friends, right?
Good branding.
And we're very sophisticated people. We're not like those guys that blow snot out of their nose on the streets. That's what they're trying to like. That's their ambassador.
Yeah, chip making, snot blowing.
Yeah, they're like chip making snot blowing.
Two biggest exports.
And then the Chinese people in the 80s or 90s, they just start coming up, right? Super hardcore. So now you get to like the 2020s, these guys come over here and they just straight buy like fucking 5 houses at a time. Taiwanese people isn't even on their radar. I think Taiwan to China are like ants. So they just fucking came up so hard. I honestly think from a Caucasian perspective, it's a one-sided beef. It's like Taiwan going, recognize me, we're so fucking cool, we do cool shit. And then China now is like, wait, is someone fucking saying things? Like, what the hell? Like, we're like, our new fucking adversary is America. I'm not even worried about what the hell this fucking little nephew has to say. That's what I feel like from a Caucasian perspective.
Oh, how come like?
Why do you keep saying that?
But why 2-3 years ago China's like
Decades ago.
no, I mean like 2-3 years ago China was like, oh, you're part of us. Like,
Well, I think they're just like, okay, we're back. You get in line. It's like your alcoholic father's back. Get in line. Stop fucking around.
So what is it that happened with young Asian Americans? Maybe like this might just be relegated to the 2000s, where there was like oh no, that's not a Chinese guy, he's Taiwanese. How'd that happen?
I hung out with a lot of Cantonese
But-
people, and they would just rag on Taiwanese all day.
Yeah, how did that like develop?
So what I realized, it's like everyone's like talking shit about the group they're jealous about. So I like maybe Taiwanese people are like talking shit about mainland Chinese that are like super mega rich, like Bart's talking about. Like they could buy like 20 Lambos.
No, but
And
not
then
all of them.
Taiwanese people are like, we're rich. We have like
No.
2 homes, and then they're like, well, I have a skyscraper.
no, but most Chinese people, the thing that most Taiwanese people talk about in Taiwan is like how rude they are. But it's not rude culturally in China, yes. But
Yeah.
then in comparison to the Western society, it is rude.
But
to
when I was
shit with
around
you.
a lot of Cantonese people, I was like, why you guys talk so much shit about? I was like, Chinese people hate Chinese people the most. That's what I realized. Because like they don't talk shit about Koreans or Japanese or nothing. All I hear about is them talking shit about other Chinese. And when Cantonese people talk shit, they'll be like, oh, Taiwanese is fucking cheap as fuck. They're all pussies. They don't know how to fucking fight. They don't know how to do this. They're like, their gangs are fucking
Really?
like, they're all backstabbing each other and they're best friends.
Their kung fu's whack.
His hair whack, style.
Your microchips whack.
Why y'all hate him? And I was like, oh, that's because the Cantonese are the country ass bumpkins, and Taiwanese people are the rich people living in Arcadia. That's why you fucking jealous.
Yeah, I always felt like the Asian American version of that was so different because I kind of like just popped into it. And before I knew it, that was already like the dividing line. I'm like, how'd this happen?
This episode is brought to you by Lucy. Yo, these nicotine pouches right here, I take them all the time, and this one happens to be my favorite flavor. It's the berry citrus. It is super, super sweet and juicy, just nice and light the way I like it. I don't like it too minty where it starts flaring up my nostrils and stuff, but these are the ones, y'all. If you like that good flavor while still getting that nice little nicotine hit, these are it. Let's level up your nicotine routine with Lucy. Go to lucy.co/offtherecord and use promo code offtherecord to get 20% off your first order. Lucy has a 30-day refund policy if you change your mind. Again, that's lucy.co and use code offtherecord to get 20% off. Lucy products are only for adults of legal age, and every order is age verified. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
Even the weakest watching was T side, like Taiwanese side. They're not, like
The weakest watching were the Taiwanese ones?
They're not known to fight. They're known to run.
that's what everyone voted across the streets. That was a street poll.
The yearly awards.
Yeah,
the
that's
watching
the
awards.
American Idol poll. Everyone, T side is the worst one. Vote them off.
Vote for your favorite watching branch.
But it's because they're not ghetto. They're like rich kids that join gangs. Of course, they're not gonna fight like refugees, like Vietnamese refugees and these Cantonese guys that ran away from communism. Like they live hard lives, right? And then Taiwanese guys are like thieves and pirates. Like they're like con artists, right? They're pussies. They're not.
They're white collar crime guys?
Yeah, they're rich con artists.
They're like gangsters with backup plans. You know what I mean? Like, if this fails, I'm gonna go back to Taiwan and be a doctor.
If the gang life fails?
Yeah, because they're playing it. It's like they're like play gang banging, you know. The other guys, it's like that's real shit.
That's all they've got.
They have.
Southeast Asians, Cantonese people, they're all like, they're like rough, right? But then like Taiwanese people, they're like middle class people that are like maybe neglected from parents, and then they become a gangster. So it's like different. Like
One's like a parachute kid, and then the other one's like refugee kid. So one coming here, they have everything, just not their parents. It's like, I'm not fucking understood. The other kids are like, I don't even know where my dad is. He exploded on a landmine.
that's true.
That is me. I really feel like that. And
Parachute man, huh?
Parachute man. But I also feel like it's not only the rich Taiwanese, like even the working class Taiwanese. I felt like they weren't the fighters also. And then when I went to ANA, I kind of wanted to be friends with the Koreans because I feel like they were even more, they're tougher. But the Taiwanese people never stood up with me, even in never stood up with like.
They never had your back.
Never had my back. So then, the Koreans, I always wondered that actually, but that makes sense.
When you got in that fight and got beat up, were your friends that didn't stick up for you Taiwanese?
Yeah, a lot of them. Yeah. Well, they don't even care. They don't even give a fuck.
Yellow bellies, huh?
Did you ask them like, yo, what happened? How come you guys didn't jump in?
No, I just feel sad.
You didn't even talk to them about it? Like,
I didn't have I didn't know how to express myself.
You have a debriefing after?
So guys, what the fuck was that?
and you stayed friends after?
No, I didn't. I just went with Koreans because they would still like beat my ass. But then they're like, oh, we got you.
But then they're not going to eat stinky tofu with you, though.
Which I'm sad too. I'm like, come on, eat one.
Sick.
Yeah.
Split in the middle, you know?
You know what's, I think the difference is like,
So sad about that.
Yeah, I was sad about that.
so I remember going to a party hosted by a Taiwanese street gang.
It sounds so proper.
It was fun.
You have to RSVP.
It was a night market, dude.
I had a cute little Evite and shit, and it said Taiwanese gang, you know. You're invited, and then confetti comes out. No, like, but here's the clear difference. And me and my buddies were like pretty fascinated by what went down because there's a lot of peacocking. So like, there's a lot of like, to them, this is like badass shit going on. We're bad, right? There's a lot of like hyping each other up. Yeah. And then, oh, we have guests. Let's show them that we're tough guys.
Oh, okay.
Whereas like, when you're hanging with like let's say a Vietnamese group throws a party.
Oh, I see.
You go there, they're actually fucking nuts. They're getting into an argument with their brother and shooting at each other, like literally, and you have to hold them back, like, don't fucking kill him, he's your brother. But he's like, you know? But then like the Taiwanese party was like a guy gets wild and then like he throws his beer on the ground, he makes a show, and then he'll punch one of his underlings that won't fight back, and everyone's just like, oh wow.
Why are we hating on Taiwan right now?
Breaking down a lot of like examples in my head right now that I'm just going through my Rolodex and I'm like, holy shit. Taiwanese people, dudes are kind of like little bitch asses a little bit. They punch down.
I didn't know that it would take him explaining the Taiwanese gang gold gala for us to understand.
That was my introduction of this is what you're talking about. It's like it's a show of like it's like let's scare people with intimidation, but not really fuck people up.
Like they're doing it by choice versus Viet guys. That's their default setting.
They're really about it.
You're like, yay! Hey, you want an egg roll, man? Yeah! And then you're just partying, and then all of a sudden, hey, what the fuck? You fucking cheated on the cot! And then he starts stabbing his brother and shit, and you're like, what the fuck is happening? And then you're like, I can't party with you guys no more, man. Fuck this, you guys are crazy.
Damn. I guess that explains why so many Taiwanese people made it out of gang life.
Yeah, I know, because they never were in it.
Easier. Yeah.
Plan B was always there.
Yeah.
That's an easier switch.
But you know what's funny though? This is not Taiwanese, but our buddy Francis in junior high, my favorite thing to do was to call him Chinese because he would get mad. And he'd be like, no, Hong Kong, Hong Kong. He barely knew like how to speak at the time. He didn't know English that well.
He just said Hong Kong over.
No, I'm a Hong Kong.
He doesn't want to be a snot blower.
Yeah, and we would die because every fucking hour we'd just be like, hey, aren't you from China? And he would go, no, Hong Kong.
I think he was the first parachute kid I ever met.
Right?
Yeah.
And I didn't know why.
They should put him in a mansion at like 7th grade.
I didn't know why he hated being Chinese so much. Because then
I didn't either. That's
no, that's why it was so funny.
I didn't get it at all.
And I thought it was like say like, "Hey, you're American," and then that's like me going, "No, Los Angeles." I didn't know that.
With a Chinese accent.
Los Angeles.
Echo Parker.
What's crazy in Taiwan, there's a Howley term for Chinese. You know, Weißenden.
Yeah.
If you're in Taiwan, right, and then everyone's hanging out, whatever, and then you have a Chinese guy that speaks Mandarin or not Taiwanese, they'll go, "Oh, this guy ain't local." Like there's the local bradas of the Taiwan, and then they'll some people will treat you differently if you're not a local. But to the outside, it looked exactly the same.
But isn't there native Taiwanese?
Yeah, there is native Taiwanese.
The Polynesian ones, there's that. They're the real Taiwanese.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
But
But
then you
it's-
guys are the Chinese Taiwanese.
Yeah.
Aboriginal Taiwanese.
Yeah.
The Aboriginal Taiwanese,
They're getting rid of them.
they're more closely related to Samoan and Tongans and Hawaiians.
And they look like that.
They look like that. They look like that. But the problem though, it's like Hawaiians where so many Chinese people have come in that they've all kind of been bred out. So it's hard to find like 100% Aboriginal Chinese.
I got
Taiwanese
0.1%.
Really?
0.1%.
I thought it would be more.
But yeah, if you
That's what I
follow
thought,
the migration, that's where they came from. From
Islands.
Samoa, Tonga, and Hawaii. They actually all came from.
Local brada. That's why when I go to Hawaii, I'm like, I'm native, cuz.
Yeah.
I'm a native local brada.
Yeah.
I show you my 23andMe, but it's the companies went over.
Taiwanese history is fascinating, dude. I went on a deep dive. It's a country made of pirates. That was their original.
Project A with Sammo Hung. Isn't that the story?
What a cut, dude. What a deep cut.
Sorry. That's pretty deep, man.